What is poppin', beautiful people? It's your boy, and today we are talking about something that needs to be talked about ASAP. Your boy's not going to be quiet on this. We usually don't get into this kind of stuff too often, but this needs to be discussed. You guys deserve it. The community deserves it. And this is something that was stated on State of the Game. If you guys haven't watched it, we're going to go through real quick. I already watched it. I just watched it like 5 minutes ago. And I got some things to say real quick, but I'm not going to make this too long. But we got to get into this, you know what I'm saying? So before we even get into it, let me give you guys a briefing of what's going on. Basically, there are some changes coming to the drop rates of classified that a lot of people are happy with. And those people are the ones who just don't have the gear set. They didn't have the time. They were working during the global event and they didn't have it, which I respect. And they didn't have time to get classified gear. So Massive and them, they got together and thought of some plans to help these people. But then we have the people who put in the excess amount of time grinding, doing what they got to do on multiple platforms, trying to get everything they need, knowing how the drop rates were, knowing how the RNG works and everything. And those people work for it. Me, myself, being one of these people, because I put in like 20 hours to get Nomad, and it's worth it, I'm telling you. But anyways, we're going to get into it. I'm going to go exactly to where I remember is like the definitive part of what they were saying, because they talked for almost 20 minutes, and I know y'all don't want to be for 20 minutes. So let's get into this real quick.
Before we started the stream.
Can't see him. You've never seen him. Can about this? From Leamington Spa.
I could drink out of a big mug. I'm a game designer on
The drop pool and the drop chances
Okay, here we go.
pretty low. So if we're just going to start there, what have you done to the drop rates for classified gear in the game?
So yeah, we obviously understand the frustration now that all the sets are out there for you to get the single piece or pieces that you're looking for to complete a set. So we took a look at all of the places where classifieds were dropping in the game, and we've effectively doubled most of them. So, you know, open world bosses, for example, used to be 3%. Now those are 6%.
I feel that's unnecessary. Only because of how big of a change that is. Now, to you guys, to people, when I say you guys, people who don't understand, they say, oh, 3% is so low anyways. 3% in a ratio of all the activity we do in the game plus the amount of people doing that activity in the game, that becomes a big percentage. That becomes a lot of classified items that come from that. When you double that number, it's just like changing how like something multiplicative as far as damage in the game. A little change goes a long way. I feel at that rate, classifieds will become the new regular gear set. You look at them, leave them on the ground. I don't want that. I hated when I lost the feeling of the original high end. When you saw that gold, bro, it was like the exotic pop-up, not even close compared to the feeling of seeing the gold pop-up. The feeling you had, that gets eliminated. That whole work ethic where you grind for something and it finally pops up out of you knowing you had to grind for it, that feeling is eliminated when you double, triple, or whatever the drop rate like that. Like, I don't agree with that. That part I do not agree with on. I understand why they would do it, but I don't agree with it. Anyways.
You know, all of the areas across the game where it was 3%, we've made it 6%. We've increased it in the dark zone as well, but those were already surprisingly at 5%, and I didn't want to put them up to 10, so I put those to 6 as well. But hopefully that will mean that you'll start seeing some more classy gear dropping.
You will.
There's also, that's one thing we also talked about at State of the Game a couple of times, and it is that drop rates are good and all, but it's not the be-all and end-all of getting classified gear. It's not the most interesting always to way to get classified gear. So you also looked at other solutions at the same time. Yeah,
so you'll also see now in legendary missions, we've upped the chance. Well, we've added the chance and upped the chance to 20% for classifieds and legendaries. So if you...
That is ridiculous. I don't care how desperate you are to get some gear pieces. 20%, that is huge. That's 1 in 5. Guaranteed, basically. And it's basically guaranteed every run somebody on your squad is going to get it classified. At that rate, being that you can trade within regular missions, people are gonna swap. You might as well make all gear tradable, because if you make gear tradable, people wouldn't be complaining, because everybody has a friend who got a piece of gear that you needed. You know what I'm saying? That they didn't need. When you implement that big of a buff as far as loot chance, I'm not even mad that people are getting loot, because I feel you. You know what I'm saying? I feel your pain. Whenever I try a different build that's not top 3 or meta or whatever in this meta, it's frustrating. I can't even imagine having to stay in that, using a regular mix-up set Frankenstein build because you don't have anything else, because you worked, you had a family issue, whatever, anything. I can't imagine that, and I feel your pain. I respect it. I can see why they would be this bold to make a change like this, but realistically, what you're doing is you're taking away from the people who put in the time. Because remember, it's an RNG game. Whether you have the time or not, that does not change. People aren't going to hand it to you because you didn't have time. It didn't happen for me. It's not going to happen for you. It doesn't happen for the developers. You hear them complain about not having pieces, which, I mean, yeah, okay, yeah, right. But anyways, most of the time they say we don't have this because of RNG, and they can't control that. They won't change that because that's the meat of their game. That's the meat of looters, shooters, is the grind. The grind for a piece of gear you want, knowing how hard it is to get. If it becomes like this to get, for example, with Destiny stuff, when people used to grind for like the Galahorn or whatever, if you don't play Destiny, that's just like a super popular RPG or whatever. But the fact of the matter is, what is that sound? I'm sorry. Okay, but anyways, the fact of the matter was, when they grind for that, people busted their butt to get that RPG, and then it was for sale one day later. And all the people feel offended. Like, I put in the time for this, and you're telling me somebody can just come walk along and grab it? That is the concept with this. People like me, people like all the streamers I know, damn near all the streamers I know that did those long streams when the global event dropped to get that. Especially like Matt. Like Matt Goes Buck, I saw him tweet, like, he has his gear sets on multiple platforms, bro. Like, that's crazy. I don't even have the aptitude to make another level 30 character, let alone grind a whole nother set of classified outside of a global event. Like, tip my hat off to you, bro. You're a savage. But situations like that, if I'm a grinder and I grind out Xbox, PS4, and PC, and I put in crazy amounts of hours that I could have been doing anything else in the world, and somebody walks along and gets all this in a day because of new drop rates and how easy it is to get, I'm going to look like, why did I have to waste all that time? What compensation do I get for that change? What compensation do the players who actually put in the grind in a game that's designed to grind get? Besides a slap in the face. That's that argument. That's the side of the people. If you see anybody in the comments disagree with you being the person that agrees with this, that is why. So don't say I can't see or how you do. I'm telling you, this is exactly the argument 99.9% of the people are making. Is you're ruining a game that is designed for grind. You know what I'm saying? Anyways.
You know, want to challenge yourself and do a legendary mission, you're going to have, you know, roughly a 1 in 5 chance of picking up some classified gear.
Plus, when they say challenging for legendary, we are in the player OP meta where the players are way more OP than NPCs. NPCs are weak now, so legendary is not even challenging. I get it, it's their hardest content, so they got to put the biggest chance on the hardest content. But come on, let's be real.
Here, as well, we had heard people talking about the season pass supply drop and how that wasn't really, you know, people just tend to ignore it. So I've added a 10% chance to drop classifieds into that as well.
People might cry pay to win. You know, it's a PV. Well, I don't know. People are going to say, well, so you're telling me if I don't spend money, I can't get the extra 10%, which, I don't know how I feel about that.
As well as 100 D-Tech for opening it. So go open them again. It's worth it now, I promise. Or it will be in the future.
In the near future, yeah.
Yeah, so sorry, go ahead.
No, I was thinking about as well, those are, yeah, looking at those drop chances as well. We did mention that we were upping it quite dramatically in some places, and that's definitely what I was talking about there, of course, which some people kind of figured out already was the legendary. to have that 20% chance. It's for the mission reward at the end of a legendary mission. It's now 20%.
Yeah, and it's difficult. It's difficult stuff. So we want to reward you accordingly. So we feel like the legendary missions was a good place to put like a very high chance for classified gear to drop.
Right. But you also did a couple of things in connection to caches.
Yes, let's see. So yeah, for the resistance caches as well are going to have a chance to drop them. Is that what you were talking about? I think that's what you're talking about.
Well,
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
There we go.
Yes, during global events. So in future global events, I've changed around the caches a bit. I've gotten rid of the small 900 GE caches because if you want to get regular set gear, you can go to the vendors to get that. So you'll still have the regular superior caches.
Very good change. Those caches are stupid. Waste of time. Thank you. GG on that.
But in addition, I've added new singular classified caches. So during the event, whatever sets are featured in that event, you can buy a cache that will guarantee one piece from that specific set.
Right.
So
there's your answer. That's a middle ground. You still got to grind, but then you can get specific. But the problem is you get a specific gear piece. That's basically handing it to you during a global event. Okay, so if you need a piece, there it is. 100% you're going to get it eventually. Way easier. Narrow down to one. You have that plus the 10% season pass, plus the doubled game-wide, plus the 20% legendary, plus the ability to trade with other players because the main source of your loot is coming from situations where you can trade. Why do you need all of that when you have a specific way to get it? If that's what they want to fix it with, they said they made it a singular cache that's designed for a single piece of gear in whatever. There's a nomad cache, final measure cache. I need a nomad face mask. Well, let me go open up a nomad cache. I have a 1 out of 6 chance to get what I need versus a 1 out of 40. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, come on, man. That's it. That's all you needed. GG right there. Like, that's it. That's like you killed the person and you pop a tack link after they're already in the checkpoint. Like, why? You got it right there. That's it. Your fix is right there. Because in one or two global events, I mean, either way, people are going to have everything and that's it. The grinding's done. What are you going to do? You're going to be optimized at some point. So what are you going to do?
So that's going to be a really good way for people to definitely hone in and finish those builds out. And, we wanted to make a fun way for you to go out and earn that piece. We didn't want to just make them so readily available that, you spend a week or so and you've got every set that you've ever wanted. But this is going to make it really, really easy for you to do it during the events.
Okay, pretty much that's where I'm going to leave it. You guys get the gist of it. That's kind of where I stand with it. I don't want the game to lose its grind factor because if it loses its grind factor, you're going to lose a lot of players who enjoy that. Like, a lot of players play the game to grind. People play looter shooters to grind. People play to get that loot that they worked for. If you hand everything to everybody, it's going to be like a PTS. And when everybody had everything, the game was so bland because, yes, you don't get the same advantages. Like it's okay to come across somebody who doesn't have Predator or Nomad or Striker. That's how it's supposed to be. Not everybody's supposed to have every piece of gear. But, I got to respect. I mean, some people just don't have it. And if you guys feel any kind of way where you feel that you need to, let me know straight up, boom, 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 I don't have the gear pieces I need. I need this. You know what I'm saying? I respect it. I'm not that person. I put in tremendous amount of hours to get my gear sets. And I know I put 20 hours into one set. So I can complain. I can be that person to say RNG is broken. But then there's some people who got it all first day. So it's like, is the drop rate really the problem? I'm going to leave that to you guys. I don't know. I have no real opinion on it other than the fact that I don't agree with most of the changes. I don't agree. I'm on record. The 20% legendary, way too much. The doubling of all across everything, way too much. The singular cache, perfect. That's my fix. If you were gonna give me the keys and say fix it, that is my fix. The singular cache, alongside maybe, okay, if I were to fuse two, I would have to take the 6% increase or the 3 to 6% increase across the board and the singular cache. Everything else, no. The 20% legendary, no, you don't need it through the season pass because all it's going to cause is people saying that they have to pay to get that. You don't want that. You could drop that and just put those two things in and make people still grind. But if you put a 20% legendary thing and 4 players play that, which is 80%, and they can trade, you're going to people knock out legendaries like this now. Because since we're so OP as players to NPCs, it's a quick knockout, speed run. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if I'm tripping. I'm team leave drop rates alone. Because you're going to kill the grind of the game. That is the vision. We worked for our gear. Let that feeling exist. Let that feeling of, oh my God, the part I needed just appeared in my inventory when I opened this cache. Don't make it be like, oh, I have 5 masks, 6 masks, 7 masks. Don't. Please. You know what I'm saying? Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know below. Are you team drop rate? Are you team fixed drop rate? I want to know. And let me know why. Because I'm really curious. I want to know, since I'm not one who's needing of a gear set, if you need a gear set that you busted your butt for, like you put in crazy amount of hours and you still don't got it and you feel this is what you needed, let me know why. I'm just curious. You know what I'm saying? Thank you guys so much for watching, man. I wanted to put an input on this for you guys because I know you guys are all flustered and you guys just want to hear something on it and have a place to talk about it. Here it is. So thank y'all so much. Stay blessed. Almost at amazing number of subscribers, man. We almost hitting 40K. Where I'm like 4K away. I need that 40K. Subscribe if you like it. And let me know. Comment, like, subscribe, share, do the whole thing. I love y'all. It's been real. Your boy is up.